plan. Arthur, we just gotta make enough money to get to Tahiti.
Yours is definitely better.
Arthur, you gotta trust me, Arthur. Everybody's leaving me, but you've been with me for so long, Arthur. You're like my son.
Dutch, I ain't leaving you stupid bastard.
Oh, I know you never leave me, Arthur.
I just want to know why we need so much money.
For all the mangoes.
I'm losing it. I can't.
All right, we're live. We're live. Another Port City podcast episode
So
whatever
dumb.
number we're on. What is it? 17 is what it's saying in front of me.
Something like that. Dude,
17,
the
I
framing
think,
might
is where
be
we're-
off.
Is it?
Dude, I think it is. All right, start over.
All right. All right. We are back with another episode of Port City Podcast for all you Airsoft fanboys and fangirls.
Fangirls, yeah.
And fan
Ladies
children.
play Airsoft. We saw ladies
Quite a
playing
few ladies
Airsoft.
playing Airsoft at the
Milsim,
Milsim
yeah.
event.
That was impressive.
Not to,
Dude,
you
remember the one lady we linked up with?
Dude,
that
she
was like
was
hard pushing.
hitting after it. Dude.
Oh man,
She was with Dark Horse, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, was she?
I'm pretty sure she was.
That was impressive. She ended up winning like a bunch of stuff.
It
at the
was like
raffle,
her,
too.
I think her husband and kid were there.
Yeah, something like that.
They were forced to be reckoned
An
with.
Airsoft family.
One can only hope.
Dude, that's
for
the dream. That's
such a
the American
beautiful,
dream.
really, honestly.
Just the Airsoft
operator
dream, probably, yeah. Operator dream. A family of operators.
I mean, speaking of Airsoft families,
Yeah.
it kind of pertains to what we're talking about.
It does.
Today.
It does pertain.
Today we're talking about kind of what to expect your first time stepping onto the airsoft field. Whether that is you've played before with your friends or you've never played.
Yeah.
At an official airsoft field, an arena, whatever you want to call it, you're now playing with other players at an official designated point with refs and rules and regulations and what you can expect kind of airsoft culture, I feel like.
What and obviously this is going to be general stuff, not necessarily everywhere you go, every different airsoft community is going to have different things about it. They're going to have their own, inside jokes or, their own traditions and whatnot. But
and
these are
sorry, I can't speak. The general vibe might be different at each field. I mean,
definitely.
I've played kind of all up and down the East Coast and some out in Minnesota.
Yep.
And where else have we played? I feel like it's all been East Coast. You didn't go to Minnesota.
No, I have not been to Minnesota. I'd love to go though. Next time you go.
So we're,
Oh,
we're kind of talking just generally about the airsoft culture, but I mean, it's going to be different at each field.
That's going to be bad audio.
There's going to be different levels of organization and implementation of rules. You might show up to some place and it's just a guy who's running a business out of his backyard. That's what Minnesota was. This guy just owns a ton of land. He lives on it, and then he just every Saturday, wakes up, gets his morning coffee, goes outside, and if there's people parked in his driveway, he runs the airsoft games that day.
Dude, I think that's what I aspire to be, is the airsoft grandpa airsoft.
Yeah.
When I get old,
granddaddy airsoft.
Granddad airsoft, you just have a ton of land and people show up and you just airsoft.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
we'll get there.
Wear your iPro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and
call your hits.
To be honest, that was some of the most fun airsofting that I've done.
Yeah.
It was a very, very well set up field for just being in his and you're thinking backyard. I'm not talking about like an acre. I'm talking about like this dude just owns some land.
But I have a question for you, Isaac.
Go ahead.
Was it an event?
No. But there's still rules because it's airsoft.
It's airsoft. So yeah, I mean, airsoft, it can look like anything. Yeah. So just finding your community is one thing that can look like anything. There's not any really we've had. I think Facebook is generally
a great place to look.
A good place
Maps.
to look. Google Maps, Discord. I don't think you can search for servers on Discord.
You can't. No, but you can search online for.
You
servers.
can search online. And whatnot. Yeah, that's an interesting one. How to find. I mean, generally it would just be a Google search for airsoft fields in your area, and then whether it's an actual field or like what Isaac was saying, somebody's backyard.
Yeah,
something would come up.
If you can't find anything, you can always turn to r/Reddit. We
Mhm.
are also on Reddit. I mention that every episode, but we're on there. You can check in the description for that. But you can ask questions in there about, is there anything in this region or this town or whatever? And
odds are there's somebody that knows. So you've found your field.
You know the location.
You have your location.
Yeah, you have your heading.
Yeah. You get there, or you're getting in the car.
You're driving.
You're
listening to this episode.
You're listening to this episode
with a minivan full of your closest airsoft buddies.
Yeah, and a trunk full of
blasters.
Hoping you don't get pulled over. This is an interesting one to explain to the police.
Yeah.
While you've got 5 men in a car.
5 men in a car, kitted up.
Kitted up.
A bunch of fake,
Some of them have orange tips. Some of them don't.
Yeah. Some of them are weirdly painted.
Right.
Some of them have anime stickers.
Yeah. So you are on your way to the field. What can you expect in a general sense? What are some of the things to keep in mind?
And this isn't like we've talked about what to wear to airsoft and stuff. This is like general culture, vibes, how to manage your expectations, and how to ensure that you have a good time.
Yeah. So you just want to start with that first?
Yeah, dude, hit them with it.
So first off, this is just something like, airsoft is for all ages, but you have a wide spectrum of people who, whether you are a parent watching this for your child who is wanting to get into airsoft and you are wanting to get a good understanding of what to expect before you take them to their first airsoft experience at a field, or you are someone who is about to go play airsoft for the first time, but find offensive things to be a bit more triggering than most others, which is not an issue. It's not a problem. It's just would prefer not to hear offensive language or swearing, stuff like that. The majority of players that are going to be at a field, it is a hobby. A lot of the blasters that we use are considered toys or whatever, but
replicas is the language most people use.
But
I think that's the legal term.
Yeah, but the mindset from a lot of people is it's a toy.
Yeah.
But the reality is that a lot of the players are adults. They're in their maybe late teens, early 20s.
It sort of does this weird dip across ages.
Yeah,
right?
it does.
As you start to get into the teenage years, there's a growing interest in airsoft.
Yeah.
When you get into your 20s, you see a lot of that start to dip off. People who used to play airsoft or did at some point own an airsoft blaster. And then once you get back into your 30s, it starts to pick back up. Because what it is young people just think they're too cool for airsoft. That's all it is.
When you are at that 21 to 25, 26 age range, you're like,
I gotta buy a house or I gotta
26?
get a car.
Oh yeah, it's I was thinking more realistic goals, like I gotta be able to afford McDonald's tonight.
Yeah, you know what I mean though. They're like, oh, I don't have time for that.
Yeah. So
not me.
Yeah, it is really interesting, and then you've got
so much time for that because I make it.
You get the freaking 60-year-old dudes out there.
Yeah, you do.
Just running their Vietnam
airsoft,
kits,
dude, wearing their actual Vietnam kits
right
from when they were in Vietnam.
Yeah, so you've got some harsh language being thrown around.
We actually saw a guy who looked old enough to be. Do you remember this? He was at the Thunderdome event wearing a Vietnam kit that was authentic, surplus
I don't remember
gear.
seeing this guy.
It was
he
during the raffle.
Was he DEA? He was green.
No, he was cartel because green was cartel. But he looked old enough to have served in Vietnam and had a full surplus.
He
Vietnam
might have,
setup.
dude.
That's what I'm saying. Some of these guys might actually have at some point.
I would not want to go against him.
Yeah.
I've heard stories about what those guys did. God.
Anyways.
So yeah, just be warned. If you find yourself easily triggered,
there's some adult language.
You're gonna hear some offensive jokes. Not jokes.
Yeah, not from everyone, right? So you got to think about like the community that plays airsoft. There's a lot of gamers, a lot of military, and a lot of teenagers who think it's cool to like say bad things.
Yeah. So, and it kind of goes into the next point of like you're gonna what you're going to encounter. Like the majority of airsofters are nice. Like it's they don't bite. You know, they're good people, helpful people who just want everyone to have fun and, you know, be safe and everything. It's about 90% of what we've experienced with airsofters. Then you've got like 9%, we'll say, that are what we like to call wiener babies.
The wiener babies of airsoft. They complain all the time.
Yeah, it's like
they're toxic.
Yeah, they don't like getting shot, but then they overshoot everybody, and it's
they don't call
they're
their
not
hits.
calling their hits. That stuff.
And 9% may even be a little bit of an exaggeration.
9% might be
very limited, but what I would say 9% is an exaggeration of cheaters, right? Outright cheaters. There's not very many. You may see that on YouTube. There's not that many outright cheaters because it is an honor sport, right? So if you're caught cheating repeatedly, you're just kicked
not
off the field.
with.
Yeah, you're just like you're not allowed back. All right.
Yeah.
And we've witnessed that happen. We have witnessed people get banned from the field.
Absolutely.
And but 9%, what we like to call wiener babies, they complain. They don't like, you know, that you're doing your thing.
They're right. They want you to play airsoft the way that they play airsoft.
Yeah, exactly.
And then about 1% or so is like what I would consider your average New Yorker, right?
Yeah.
Very prickly,
rough around the edges.
Yeah, abrasive a little bit, but like a solid dude who's definitely going to help you out. Like he's got stuff.
Yeah.
Like your blaster's messed up. He's got you.
It's the you think they're just we're not doing swears, so it's like you think they're just a butthole,
right?
Like what I would say.
Yeah,
but they're not actually nice.
Yeah, like he's gonna help you, but the whole time he's gonna be like, "What are you doing?"
It's the freaking. They're helpful and nice in their own unique way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. They're helpful and nice in their own unique way, and every compliment you can't quite tell if it's a compliment,
right? But it is.
You definitely just said I did a good job.
Yeah,
but you also kind of insulted like my height or something.
Right?
Like, wow, you play really sneaky for such a tall person or for such a big person. And it's like,
it's like, how can you fix my tie and slap me in the face at the same
that's
time?
Exactly.
I don't understand, but you do it and it's fine, I guess. So you got that too. So those guys are chill. They're fine. Just, you know, be nice.
Be patient. But that is kind of
that's what we've experienced.
That is the general idea of what you're going to see out.
The vast majority of airsofters you're going to encounter are genuinely nice people who want to be helpful and want you to have a good time.
And that's not really related to play style. That's more just the attitude.
Yeah.
As far as play style goes, you want to kind of talk through some of these?
Yeah, so I mean, you are definitely going to have players there. So this is something that is a good expectation to have in mind, because I feel like a lot of people, especially people who play video games and then come into airsoft for the first time, especially if they're good at video games, will be like, I'm about to tear it up. Like, oh man, I'm just so many kills all day. And then they get there and they come up against some experienced players who play airsoft, and they're playing like they play Call of Duty, where they're just running out,
right?
You know, firing from the hip, all that stuff. Like,
you're not hitting a dolphin dive
and
successfully.
Then they get upset that they're not or I mean, sometimes those players go out there and they do their thing and they have a great time.
There's something to be said about the environment of airsoft, right?
Yeah.
So we like to play tactically because we like doing real steel shooting competitions. We just the video games we play are like ground branch and stuff
Yeah.
like that, where it's very tactical. We love that. It's fun and it's good tactics to use. However, it's still not real.
Yeah.
I think there's these people who like military guys, for example. You can be an Army Ranger and have served for years and have plenty of experience actually doing this in real life. But you get on the airsoft field, airsoft it's not the same.
No.
Right? So there's elements that you can draw in from your real steel, like tactical training, but you're still playing airsoft. It's still a hobby. It's a sport. It's for fun. And quite frankly, people are a lot less scared of a BB than they are of a bullet. Like, it's just not going to be the same. So there is a balance between the two. You're somewhere in between Call of Duty and real life.
Yeah.
And you find that when you find your happy medium somewhere in between and you find out how you like to play, that's when you get good at airsoft.
Yeah.
And the people who have been playing for a long time, they know, hey, no matter how good my position is, this BB is not going to fire the same as a bullet.
Yeah.
So your distances are different.
Mhm.
Your placement's different. Your maneuvering around cover is a little different.
Yep.
It's not all the same. But you do get those people who are like try hard, like sweaty, like this is how it is in the Marine Corps, like, or whatever it is. Like I've been watching like tutorials on how to like maneuver through buildings. And it's like, yes, that's great. You have really good ideas, but practically applying them, and it can get frustrating, right? You think you're going into this well-trained for a CQB fight, and then you get in there, and realize
it's not what you expected.
This guy just like low swivel peaked me with a high kappa pistol.
Gosh,
you
dude,
know
that right there. It frustrated me so bad when that happened. But then I was like, I mean, I can't fault it.
Right?
Works, dude. Meta. I mean, right? Like,
so,
that's airsoft.
You know, just like
I was like, I can't believe that just worked on me.
I have a perfect example.
Yeah,
because
go
I've
ahead.
done this to you before.
Yeah,
you know my signature move.
I know exactly what
my
you're about to say.
signature move.
And you got me with it, and I got so mad.
Dude, my signature move is the most unorthodox thing I've ever seen. I've never seen anyone do this, and I'm shocked that I haven't because it's so brilliant.
Yeah.
If I peek cover and I'm engaging someone, and let's say I miss, they suppress like me back into cover, and I can't peek, and I think that they're coming around that corner to run up on me. I drop onto my back and either with my rifle or draw my pistol, go prone on my back. I just fall backwards. And when they round that corner, even if they're shooting low to get someone crouched or high for standing, they don't hit me. And so many times people swing around corners and I'm on my back shooting on the ground with a pistol. There's just stuff like that in airsoft that if you run into these try-hard players who want it to be real, they want it to be a specific way, whether it is real or if they want to play like Call of Duty, you just have to accept that there's multiple play styles, and we'll explain some more of these here, but I feel like that is important that we explain, like there's so much to consider on the field that it's not one thing,
right? So and mixed in with all of that, you have more people that are probably like you, new players or straight up children. So you do have like the full spectrum of your like John Wicks, all the way down to wee babs.
Exactly. There's going to be people doing, and there's going to be people that are very tactical, very slow, very
methodical.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Dude, how did I know?
That's the exact word. I couldn't think of it. There's going to be that. There's going to be your fast-paced run and gun, sliding around corners, doing the swivel peaks, like all sorts of stuff.
Your speed softers.
That's your speed soft community. You've got the milsimmers who are going to be implementing stuff like bounding fire. They're going to be breaching doors in a specific
popping smokes
military style. Yeah, popping smokes, using lots of
grenades. Yeah.
You're going to have your goofballs who are running around with a freaking flamethrower or a Nerf gun. Like, people who are just having fun.
Yeah.
We call the goofball is not a derogatory term.
No.
I'm a goofball.
Yeah.
Dude,
proud.
If I had the opportunity to go out with some goofy, like pulling up with the doohickey, like I would
the contraption.
Yeah, having a contraption. Like if I had the money to buy all the goofball stuff I want, that's what I would do. If I could run a blunderbuss, I would like totally bring it out.
Oh man, a CO2 blunderbuss would be tight.
If you haven't seen on our Instagram at the MilSim event we went to, I brought a clown horn that's like a bike horn that has like a little swirl in it, and it's like,
Yes.
like the exact. When you think clown horn, this is the horn. And
Clown behavior.
I was like peeking a cardboard cutout of a cowboy around a corner, and people were shooting at it and getting mad because no one was calling their hit. They're like, "Call your hit!" And then I said, "Wah, wah," around the corner, like goofball activity. It's just have fun,
dude.
Everyone
fun.
loves pranks on the field. If you and obviously don't compromise someone's safety. That's not funny. But if it's just a good goof,
Yeah.
it's a good goof.
It's a good goof.
And most of the players love to see that,
Mhm.
Like goofballs are very much so
Very
loved
welcome.
and adored by the airsoft community. If you show up with something wild, like we saw a guy with a halo needler,
Dude,
everyone loved that.
I think about the kid with the sniper pistol that we played with a few weeks ago.
Dude.
That was nuts.
Dude,
He runs like a full gas mask and a like a sword and everything.
Yeah, too much for me, but
Yeah.
I appreciate the goofball energy. It's good.
So yeah, so that's you're gonna have a bunch of different kinds of people there.
You're gonna see someone wearing
full kit,
a full
looking like they just stepped out of
of Call
like
of Duty.
Call of Duty. Yeah.
And then you're gonna see someone.
You're gonna
wearing,
see Captain
like,
Price.
a Ronald McDonald outfit.
Yeah, and you're gonna see an actual clown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be me.
Yeah, with the horn. So yeah, I mean that's kind of what to expect with
Play style.
yeah,
like,
with people.
the different genres.
Yeah, the different like schools of thought for what someone is trying to accomplish when they're playing airsoft, and how just what to expect with that. So the rest of this is just stuff that is good things to keep in mind for the field. These are things that are usually unspoken rules, but
should be said,
and is stuff that is pretty standard at every field you go to. And if you've played airsoft for like even with just your friends, I'm sure some of this has come up at some point, whether it's just like
they're tearing it up out there, whatever they're doing.
somebody getting mad about something and
in the hallway.
right. But whether it's you guys playing in the backyard and like you overshoot your friend and he gets mad and he's like, oh, you don't shoot me when I say hit or whatever. Like, so like some of the stuff you may already know, but it's stuff that is just a little bit of an unspoken rule.
I would say these are things to keep in mind
Yeah.
to make sure that you have fun.
Yes.
And to make sure that it's a good time.
Yeah, and that is the main point of airsoft is to have fun. And in my opinion, it is your job as an airsofter. It's my job as an airsofter. It's Isaac's job as an airsofter to make sure that everyone else on the field is having fun. And if everyone does their job, then everyone's having fun.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you're going to have some people that aren't having fun, and that's their choice not to have fun. And there's nothing you can do about that. But generally speaking, there are...
And those are the wiener babies.
Yeah, those are the wiener babies. But generally speaking, there's just guidelines, play style choices that you can make that just we have seen it time and time again provide for or create a space for a better experience, a better airsofting experience.
Yeah.
So this first one is not really something that's a rule. I don't know if it's really been talked about. It's something that we kind of do.
This is not a hard rule of airsoft. This is a rule we have for ourselves that we apply to our gameplay to make sure that everyone has
It's
fun.
something that's it's we hold this as a standard because it's so the rule is, we call it the 60 to 70% rule. Basically what that is if you are dominating a team, like you've pushed them back like to their spawn basically.
Or if they just cannot get to the objective.
Yeah. What we like to do is we push 60 to 70%. We were holding 60 to 70% of the field. So if we've pushed past halfway, then we only go about 10 to 20% past that down the field and hold there.
And for example, if you do, because sometimes it's fun to push all the way back, especially on our fields, there's not a whole lot of CQB except near spawn points.
Yeah.
So if you do push up to their building, their structure, whatever it is, whether it's a bunker, whether you're just playing in the woods, sometimes it is okay to push all the way. But if you don't get hit by the time you get close to their spawn, just drop back some.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the idea is once you have pushed, if you realize this is not going to be fun for them, just drop back some. Hold 60 to 70% of the field. Or if it's an objective, you don't have to let them onto the objective. It's attack and defend. You don't have to let them inside, but don't push out and keep them from getting up to you. Or if you're just like, man, these guys cannot move. These guys are slow. Let them get up to some cover. Let them get closer. Let them have a chance. You know, like, and it's not whether you win or lose. It's fun to play well and give it your best. And if you want to help everyone do that, you have to allow them to try.
Yeah.
You know?
And again, that just falls into the making sure everyone's having fun, right? Like it's no fun if you're just being held in your spawn all day. And
there are people who enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
You know, we like all airsofters, you know, it is one of those things where we don't play certain ways, but we appreciate people who have different play styles. But there are certain communities that have different approaches to that, right?
Yeah.
So like mill simmers, for example, you may experience that they want to hold 80 to 90%, and they may not shoot you right out of spawn, but they're not going to let you take any ground because they're in their mind, we have to hold this.
Like if you take a step out of spawn, they'll probably shoot you, but they're not going to shoot in.
And then like with speed softers, you may see like they may not hold the whole field, but you're going to get that one guy that likes to just book it up the side and come around the corner and get everyone when they're not looking. Like you're just going to encounter some of that. It's all right. Let people play the way that they want to play as long as it's within the rules of your field and the agreed upon like terms of how the game is supposed to work. But in general, give people room to breathe, give them a chance to play, because I've seen people leave the field discouraged and not come back.
Yeah.
And that's no fun, you know?
No fun. So yeah, kind of tagging onto that about like people getting frustrated. Overshooting is absolutely a thing that happens. So the rule is you shoot until you see the hand go up or until you hear them say hit. Basically you shoot until they call the hit, whatever that looks like. But once you see that hand go up or you hear them say hit, you know that they have called the hit. Stop shooting. There's no need to shoot anymore. And I mean, if it's like a situation where they put the hand up, but you've already like fired a couple BBs and they, get mad about that, you just say, hey, sorry, man. I didn't see you were calling the hit. Cause sometimes it does happen where you hit someone and they call hit, you may not have heard it, but they get up from the cover to walk back to spawn. And when they get up, you shoot a couple BBs cause you're like, I didn't know.
It happens very often.
It does.
I had a scenario like that last weekend when we played where I got hit. I threw my hand up, yelled hit, got up to walk away, and got hit in the back. And before the BBs hit me, I heard someone yell, sorry, because they just saw someone moving. They fired, and while the BBs were traveling, they were like, oh my gosh, he's out. And it just happened. Yeah,
it happens. If you didn't mean to do it, just say like that. He just yelled sorry. He knew what it meant. He understood. It was no big deal.
Yeah. And with the shooting until you see their hand go up or until they yell hit, don't just like because you may not even hear them through the sound of your own blaster or the field like bursts.
Right.
That's what I do.
And the other thing too is if you're just nailing somebody over and over again and you're like they're not calling their hit, they're probably not calling their hit because they're cowering away from your BBs. Give them a second to react to getting shot and then call their hit. Yeah. Now, if you shoot them and then they turn and bring their gun up or their blaster up on you, shoot them again. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not laser tag. It's not like right when you hit them, there's going to be like a boop, 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 player hit.
Yeah, it's an honor sport.
It is. You have to hit me. I have to, in that moment, recognize that I got hit. And sometimes if you're not firing a very high-powered, blaster,
I didn't feel it.
I may not feel it, or I may feel it and think, oh, that was a ricochet. Especially if, like, and if you don't know, always call it. But sometimes,
Right.
let's say I'll be in a piece of cover and I'm feeling ricochets come off the wall next to me that I know are not hits because there's no one to my left, right? There's no one there. And I know the guy that's firing at me is here and it's bouncing and hitting me. But then someone does show up while I'm not looking and they hit me and it's low powered. I may just be thinking this guy's still shooting at me. It's obviously a ricochet. Give them a chance. You know, there's no need to overshoot and to get aggressive. Like 98% of the time, I would say people don't realize they're getting hit. We have encountered people who know that they're getting hit, especially when I because I used to airsoft snipe all the time.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
like all
dude.
I did, and I love it. There's just the field that we play at has
I
changed.
remember you
and is a
talking
lot
about
smaller.
this all the time whenever we'd go out. You'd be like, dude, it's so frustrating.
Yeah,
Like,
because I'm working hard for those
Right.
hits. It is very difficult to snipe in airsoft. And I would watch people get hit, flinch, look around, and go, oh, there's obviously no one here. That must have just been a stray bullet, or maybe no one noticed, you know?
Dude,
and it's
maybe
like, dude,
that's
I'm
why,
looking at you right through this scope, and I'm in a bush, like 150 feet away, like, you know, watching you.
what if you just put an orange flag up on top of you? So it's like it was high up in the air. So if someone's like scanning the ground, they're not going to be like, what's this orange flag? But if they see the orange flag, they're not going to go like, huh, what's that orange flag? Oh, there's somebody there, you know. But then if like they get hit from that direction, they're going to see the orange flag and be like, oh, I guess
Isaac's over there.
I guess there's somebody over there.
So stupid. Yeah.
Like
just-
on like a 5-foot stick on your back or something. It just goes straight up.
Perfect. That's exactly what I want. Dude, I'm telling you, I used to crawl up because I have a homemade ghillie suit.
Mhm.
It's more like a leaf suit. It's not like the burlap and stuff. But
Yeah.
I ran suppressed everything. Suppressed sniper, suppressed pistol, you know, all of it. I had
Dude, that Mark 23 is
all my
so
mags
quiet.
were in pouches that were like thick and quiet. They weren't Velcro. They were like buckles and stuff. So it was like very quiet. And I would literally be like crawling around up beside the enemy. And
So
as they would
sneaky.
pass, if they were close, I'd draw that Tokyo Marine Mark 23 from like behind them.
And that's what it sounds like.
I had one guy, I hit him. He looked back, looked forward, didn't see me. Hit him again, looked back, looked forward. I hit him a third time, and he goes, "Hey guys, I'm on your team," because he thought he was getting friendly fired. And I hit him again and again, and he was like, "Okay," and he called it and walked back, and he was like, "I'm on your team wherever you're at," and I went, "No, you're not." And he was like, "Oh my," just like got so scared as I'm like at his feet, like he's like walking over me, like, "No, I'm not."
No, I'm not. Oh! Airsoft jump scares.
Yeah. I had one time I did that to a ref. A ref was walking up and down the side of the field to make sure no one went over the border, like the boundary of where you can play. And I went, "Hey," and he was like, "Oh my!" And I was like, "I'm like within the field borders, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, you're good. Just don't go like past this like road." And I was like, "Okay,
Go.
Crawling
Keep going.
it's
Dude,
fun."
that's good stuff.
Because people like that exist,
Yeah.
like to be stealthy. Just if you don't know, just call it.
Yeah, just
even
call
if
it.
it's a friendly fire. I call it sometimes because I'm like, "Hey, you wanted to hit me, even though I'm on your team. Now you got to fight them by yourself while I walk back to spawn."
Right, yeah. I mean, so I have written here a little saying, when in doubt, call yourself out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. When
Like
in doubt, call yourself out.
Yeah, if it's a ricochet and you know it's a ricochet, that's one thing. But sometimes it's a ricochet and you don't know. I still call that, you know?
Yep.
Mostly because, like, I will, like, sometimes I'll get hit by something that might be like a raindrop or like an acorn falling out of a tree, and I'll call that as a hit because I don't know if it's that or if it's a sniper somewhere out there that hit me.
I got
with
hit
the
by
BB.
a paintball.
Yeah, and
last
he
week,
called.
and I called it out.
And I just know from being friends with you for so long that like how frustrating it is if it is a sniper that did hit me and he's been working on that for 5 minutes.
I've been setting that up.
Yeah,
waiting.
I'm like,
waiting for you to move.
I'm gonna call it because I want to make that person's day. They're gonna have a great day of airsoft.
Yeah, it takes you 30 seconds to walk back to spawn, and it took me 5 minutes to set up that shot.
Right. Right. So yeah, and I think the other kind of big things, they all kind of link together. So when you're out there,
the final summary
of
how to have fun,
just be confident, right? Like don't get out there and just get behind the first piece of cover you see and sit there all game and fire like 2 or 3 BBs and then, just
not see anyone,
not see anybody.
Everyone I've brought to play airsoft that says it was boring is because they did that.
Yeah.
And as soon as I make them push up with me to the front where everything's happening,
they have a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and if you are having that feeling of like, so this is what I kind of realized that we did this Milsim event, and it was very close quarters CQB, and I hadn't really experienced
very
that
close quarters. Like kissing range,
danger close, and it was, you get into some of these like back hallways, some of these storefronts where it's 2 different teams in the same storefront. Like that's close quarters and there's a lot of BBs flying. You get scared. You start to kind of shut down. You have to be able, even in airsoft, and you hear people like soldiers and whatnot talk about this, where bullets start flying and whatnot, and you shut down. You have to be able to force yourself out of that and be able to pick yourself up out of that mindset. You kind of have to do a similar thing in airsoft when it's not obviously the same risk and all that, but your first time, I remember my first time playing and being scared to get hit.
Dude, it's terrifying.
It is scary. It doesn't feel good, but you just have to get used to it. It's part of airsoft. It happens, especially your first time. It's going to be scary, but
I talked about it
it's not terrible.
Last week. The scar that I have from that event where someone got me real good, that bruised up really big and has left a scar. But in the moment, I was confident, I was pushing up, and I was focused. It really didn't, it hurt, right? But it wasn't like, it was just like, hit, and then later I was like, that's kind of sore,
And if you're moving,
that is a worst case scenario where it's like, ow. Most of the time it's just like, oh, you got me,
right? And if you're moving, a lot of the time your adrenaline is pumping so much that you feel the hit, but you're not feeling like the residuals until a little bit later. But it is being able to have that mindset of, this is scary, but the only way out is through, and just doing it. At the end of the day, it's a game. It's fun, and it's BB's scary, hurty, but it's airsoft. Everyone's out there doing it, and different people have different pain tolerances and whatnot, but you can't be scared if you're just sitting behind the same piece of cover, not pushing out a spawn, all that stuff.
You're not gonna have a good time.
You're not gonna have a good time. And so I would just say don't be afraid to get hit. What I do is, if I'm like really kind of dreading, because it still happens to me like now, where I'll be like, oh, dude, I just don't want to get hit. I need
to go around this corner, but I know there's probably someone there,
and I don't want to get
hit that close.
But what I do is I'll just get that first hit out of the way. I'll have Isaac just hit me, like shoot me once from like, whatever, 20, 30 feet, just to get into it, You just got to get yourself into that mindset. I think it was I was talking to, I think he was a Marine or something, but they were saying like, when it would start raining and they were in the field, some companies would like get into shelter and all that stuff, but they would his like squad or whatever it was that he was in, they would roll around in puddles. Their leaders would be like, hey, like, come out here and get in this puddle. Everybody roll through this and get wet right now, because you're gonna be wet. You might as well just get uncomfortable right now and get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart. It's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I think to kind of sum all of this up, because this is pretty much everything we wanted to cover, I think the biggest thing here is if you're going to take anything away, have fun.
Yeah.
These are all tools, and this is all information to help you have fun at your first time out in the airsoft field. And let's say you're not a first-time player, but you just want to learn a little bit more about airsoft. Have fun. That's what you got to do. Make friends.
Yeah. Talk to people. Airsofters don't bite.
It is
most of them.
It is a little discouraging to go out by yourself and see all these groups of people having a blast and you don't really fit in. Just kind of put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Most of the time, honestly, every time, I've never seen one single time that someone came out by themselves and weren't invited into a group of people to play with.
Yeah.
You make friends. If you're by yourself, you make friends.
Absolutely.
It just happens. And be open to that.
Yeah.
And be ready to make some good buddies playing airsoft, having fun.
Get Discord on your phone.
Yeah, you're going to need it.
You're going to need Discord.
Or Facebook or Instagram. Mostly Discord.
Most airsofters are Discorders too.
So that's everything we have for you guys today. We really appreciate you watching.
Yeah. I really hope it helps.
It's all good information. This is all stuff I kind of wish I knew earlier on.
And again, your specific, airsoft community's culture is going to look somewhat different everywhere you go, but these are just general things that it's good to keep in mind when you're playing things that you can expect, like different play styles from the other airsofters that are going to be there. Right. So just kind of,
there's going to be a mix of players.
Yeah. Chew the meat, spit out the bones. And it's good stuff. It's good information.
If you guys are new to the channel, we do these podcast episodes every Friday. We are now on a schedule where twice a month we post a normal YouTube video, which is either an unboxing, a review, or budget loadouts to help people buy into airsoft for pretty cheap.
Yeah.
We have some tutorials and stuff and more content to come in the future. You can, subscribe if you'd like, give us a like on the video, comment down below if you have more questions. Tell us what you like about the video. Tell us what you don't like.
Yeah.
The number one way to help support us if you do like the content is just to comment and share with your friends. If you have someone you're trying to get into airsoft, you feel like there's some good information here, send them one of our videos. We have a ton of stuff helping out new players and kind of talking about airsoft and all its different aspects. You can follow us on Instagram for updates at port_city_airsoft. We post on there pretty frequently. We also monitor our messages. So if you have questions, you can DM us through Instagram.
Slide into our DMs, please.
We're active in the r/airsoft community. So if you want to follow us on Reddit, you can do that in the description below. We love making the content, but we want it to be useful. So please let us know what you guys think and
let us know how we can be of service.
Yeah.
That sounds weird.
Well,
it is what it is.
But yeah, that's the episode.
That is.
We usually take time to talk about what's going on this week, but really we just kind of have some top secret projects in the works. So there's not much to say this week.
Yeah. Watch last week's episode for the big announcement.
Oh yeah, if you didn't see big announcement last week.
We well, I won't tell you. You have to go watch that video.
Go watch that. And
I'm not going to tell you where it is in the video either, so you have to watch the whole thing. Get wrecked. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, comment.
And we'll see you
next week. We'll see you later, gamers. Can you get that way?
No, I can't go this way, but I can get this in my hands.
Do you want to hand me?
Yeah. What do you want?
The Freke?
The Freke?
Yeah.
There you go. Let's freaking get out of here.
All right, let's get out of here. I don't know this place. This is a new place. I don't know it. We gotta get it.